Before you open your pool this year, you need to understand 5 simple things, or you're going to waste a lot of money at the pool store and fight your water all summer. I'm going to make this dead simple. My pool is still closed right now, the cover's on, but this is exactly when you should be thinking about this stuff, because if you wait too long until it's green, you're already behind. There are only 5 things you need to understand: CYA, which is cyanuric acid, alkalinity, pH, free chlorine, and total chlorine. That's it. CYA, that's the stabilizer. It protects your chlorine from the sun. Too low and your chlorine burns off instantly. Too high and your chlorine basically stops working. Free chlorine is the chlorine that actually cleans your pool. Total chlorine is all chlorine, used and unused. If that gets out of balance, your water gets nasty. pH controls how comfortable the water is and how effective your chlorine is. Alkalinity keeps your pH stable so it's not bouncing all over the place. That's pool chemistry. Don't let anybody overcomplicate it. Now, before you go buy anything, I need to tell you something that'll save you a ton of money. If you go to the pool store, they're going to make this sound way more complicated than it is. And they're going to sell you all these chlorine pucks and all sorts of other chemicals you don't need. Now, the pucks are not bad in the beginning. They're actually useful because they add chlorine and CYA. But here's the problem. Every single puck raises your CYA, and that number never comes down unless you drain your pool. So over time, your CYA just keeps climbing, and eventually your chlorine stops working the way it should. You'll have chlorine in the water and still get algae, which makes no sense unless you understand CYA. And this is where it gets wild. Some pool stores will tell you a CYA of 150, even 175 is totally fine, and that's absolutely not true. At that level, your chlorine is basically handcuffed. The higher your CYA, the harder your chlorine has to work. So yeah, pucks are great, until they're not. Once your CYA is where it should be, you need to switch to liquid chlorine or cal hypo. Another thing the pool store will do is push your alkalinity way higher than it needs to be. They'll tell you it needs to be 120, even 150. In reality, you need just enough alkalinity to keep your pH stable. Too high, and now your pH is constantly drifting up and you're chasing it all summer. And then there's phosphates. They love talking about phosphates. Here's the truth. Phosphates are basically food for algae. But if you maintain proper chlorine levels, it doesn't matter how much food is in the water. If your chlorine is right, algae can't grow, period. So you do not need to spend money on phosphate remover unless you're ignoring your chlorine. So instead of all that, we keep it simple. Here's what you actually need. First, you need a good test strip. I use these. I get them off Amazon. They're super simple. You just dip them in and read. I'll link them below. You need chlorine. That's non-negotiable. Again, pucks at the start are fine, but you'll need to switch later. And you need baking soda. Arm & Hammer from Costco. That's what I use. That's the simplest way, and it's the same thing as the expensive alkalinity increaser you buy in the pool store that's way marked up, maybe 10 times more expensive. You need washing soda if you want to raise your pH, and muriatic acid from the hardware store if you want to lower it. Same chemicals as the pool store, just 1/10 of the price. Once you understand this, you'll never need to go to the pool store again. When you open your pool, here's all you do. Test your water, adjust your alkalinity, adjust pH, add chlorine, check your CYA. That's it. No magic, no mystery. And I'll show you exactly how to balance all of these step by step when I open this pool. If you want your pool crystal clear all summer without wasting money, subscribe. I'm going to walk you through the whole process.